Man, let's see how am I gonna do with this one. Testing 1, 2, and 3. Testing 1, 2, and 3. Stream. Boom, boom. See if I can open up this chat. See if I can open up this chat real quick. We got the Gym Cartel. See what the chat's looking at. Let's see what live stream's looking like right now. Oh man, let's hit my view channel. Here we go. All right. Testing 1, 2, and 3 again. Testing 1, 2, and 3. Sorry for the delay again. See if the algorithm does its thing. Here we go. We got the chat open. It says engage with your audience. Start a Q&A. Nah, I'm good. We can hit close. Display capture. Image. Nah, we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. But anyways, buttons. So I see the chat. Let me see. Am I able to highlight the chat? Well, at least on OBS, I can pin certain messages. So shout out to OBS on that one. Just waiting to see to get a little bit more subscribers, more people coming in. Hopefully get more people coming in. Cope approach. He says, I haven't been keeping up with any of this Corey and Budden stuff. He says, the initial Anton and Corey stuff, I tuned this stuff out. He said, after the initial Anton and Corey stuff, I tuned this stuff out. Well, Corey Holcomb had something to say about Joe Budden's in his last live stream. So Corey at first, he called out Budden's because Budden's in his podcast crew had something to say about the Corey Holcomb situation, which I'm not going to show that. But Corey, found out about that because he was calling out everybody in his last live stream. He called out the lead attorney. He called out who else did he call out? He called out O'Shea Duke Jackson, which I'm glad, specifically those two. I'm really glad that he called those two out because I felt like they were being slick and people might think, oh, you just being a super fan. Dude, when Ish hit the fan that day, when I did my initial live stream, I told you guys, and I have witnesses, I was like, look, I'm done with O'Shea Duke Jackson. And most of these male content streamers that were quote unquote trying to keep it down the middle were slick talking Corey. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it now more than ever. So I'm very glad he called those people out. So right after he called those people out, he in the middle, he ended up talking about Joe Budden's. But he didn't say Joe Budden's name. He didn't say his name. He called him Fruit Booty Buttons. And he called him fruit booty buttons. Let me see if I can bring it up because I thought that was hilarious. Fruit booty buttons. I thought that was brilliant. Me personally. you know, let me look at this media source. Could I? Oh no, let me cancel. Let me cancel this thing. But yep, for today for this live stream, I'm gonna be doing this off of OBS. This is how I low key used to do it. So bear with me. bear with me, because StreamYard is so much easier to use. StreamYard is like it's just seamless. I can just click here, boom, 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 click the tab. OBS is a little bit but what I like about OBS here, right here, is the chat. It's actually easier to control in terms of if I want to pin a chat, I can just click here and it'll actually pin the chat. But that's the only advantage it has. That's the only one. You're just like, golly, I wish it was a little bit more. By the way, I might have to turn up my volume a little bit, so bear with me on that too. I'm looking at my levels. I'm like, what is? Oh man. But anyways, let me bring up Corey Holcomb's initial response to Joe Budden's, and then I'll show you Joe Budden's reply. See if I can bring this up real quick. Because I might have to bring it up off of his initial show. Or am I going to have to bring up Self Talk's video? He might have it already laid out. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. So let me see if I can share my screen real quick. I'm gonna have to share my screen with you old school style. See if I can remove this. Here we go. What in the? Oh man, this is bad. This is bad, guys. Can't take off this my screen real quick. I can't even take off my own screen. See if I can delete this. Do I want to do? No. Yeah, I'm trying to share. I'm trying to share the screen. I can't even share my own screen. Oh man. So let me black it out. I'm gonna black out the screen for a little bit, and then I'm gonna have to open it up old school style. Automatic DXGI desktop or Windows display primary monitor. Here we go. I might have to do it like this. How the streamers be doing it on a Twitch. Oh man. But let's open this up a little bit. So if you go on YouTube, you're just gonna see it all over. They're gonna say Joe Budden, Corey Holcomb. They're gonna say that Joe Budden destroyed Corey Holcomb and all this stuff. Like I said, the whole ass niggas have come in full force. They've come in full force with the whole, Corey Holcomb situation. A lot of dudes have come in, full force. A lot of people, you know. The only person that has like the only male subscriber that I've seen stay solid with Corey Holcomb is Fawcett Media. Everybody else has been suspect, playing both sides. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's really crazy out here. Gonna bring up the actual show.
And the reason,
See if I can bring this up. Change the speed. Man, it's a bit uncomfortable doing this, but I'm in a what in the okay. Here we go.
Because you're taking on a burden.
the bottom bitch
They with what I got going on,
came out with the album with Jay-Z. Yeah, what you
people, right? That we would
somebody else. If it's not in a woman to sleep with other guys,
Who was on the show? Oh, I'm so sad that show went away.
which the only reason I fail a little bit again, real carefully. Get up and look out my back door, man. House,
yeah.
take you to jail. I can take it. I'm talking to Tasha K. Tasha K, you lied. If you really speaking, after she did this show, they was calling her. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater.
Oh yeah, this is where I think it was right here.
I talked to him on the phone, and you know what I said? I ain't scared of shit. But you see what Tampon did. I don't want somebody the caliber of Kanye to do that. But I do want to talk to Kanye because I was very upset with Kanye at one time when he was up under. I'm talking about. Do you see what he has accomplished? He's accomplished a lot. After she did this show, they was calling her Mammy.
That's right.
I'm like, boy, these undesirables, boy. Anyway,
That's what they do.
No, I thought that's what you were bringing up. I didn't know because that happened last month, but I didn't bring it
I
up.
hope I can get Kanye on my show because I think he's somebody that I wouldn't mind having a conversation with if he would have a conversation with me after everything that's happened. Because like I said, remember we burned them Yeezys?
Yeah.
Darlene, do you remember why we burned the Yeezys? Even though I bought so many Yeezys since then.
I thought
I'm a
it was that
hypocrite.
thing. It wasn't the Trump thing.
Yeah.
Or the thing that he said at TNT.
If it was a choice, it
Wait,
hurt
was
my
Van
heart.
there? Van was there, right? Yeah.
It hurt my heart. But I am a progressive from his manager again. I am going to take the chance and have Brother Kanye up here at the Coin Academy. I would love it.
Yeah, that would be great.
But he said something in one of his songs. If my life is going to be the story of Craig's life, that's bold for me to say, but when I say it, he might understand what I'm saying.
You say Craig.
I know Nail. Nail is a good brother.
I know you.
And his crew. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater right here.
Yeah. Anyways, let me look at my chat. Let me look at my chat right here. Mr. For Your Sister says, I don't like Joe, and I did like Corey until he tried to flex on D like that. That ain't right. Joe did get him, though. I was shocked. Well, for me, to me, Joe's response was a bit weird because he didn't address anything that Corey was talking about. And you already know already know what Corey's gonna say tomorrow. He's gonna be Corey verbatim. I'm telling you, he's literally gonna be like this. You didn't address anything you said all that shit, but you didn't address anything about what I said. That's literally what he's gonna say. So this is why I kind of considered it weak. First of all, the messenger does matter. Corey Holcomb doesn't have a history of putting his hands on women, right? Joe Budden, Joe Buddens, however, he does. So he needs to relax. I'm talking about like multiple times, like multiple women coming out and saying like he was violent with me. And then whenever he's been approached with people, particularly when he was on the Breakfast Club, and they asked him, "Look, have you what's her name? Tahiri? What Tahiri said about you, or what blah 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 said about you? Is that true?" And he was like, "Well, I didn't really do this. I really did that." And you're just like, "Oh shoot! So you was really physical with that broad. So this is where the points is gonna have to go to Corey with that. The messenger does matter. And Joe Buttons, he's been caught simping too. Because remember when Nicki Minaj tried to call out, I don't know if she was calling out Kevin Samuels or somebody. She was calling out somebody, and she was doing a video with Joe Buttons, and Joe Buttons was playing way too a little bit sassy, not knowing that Joe Budden, we know your history, bro. With women. Now let's address D. Let's address what you said about D. I really could care less. I could care less. And now people might say, but D's been loyal. And no, what I've been trying to tell people, the only reason why D has been quote unquote loyal is because she has nowhere else to go. And if Corey has to downgrade a little bit because of whatever's not happening with his career, if gigs are getting canceled and he has to do all of that, notice D started acting a little bit different since all this stuff has been going on. She's been acting a little bit different because once Corey put it out there, hey, I've been losing some gigs, I've been losing this, I've been doing that, and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden she's been, 1 foot out. But that doesn't shock me though. That doesn't shock me. Anybody that understands how women go, you could have a job for umpteenth years as a man. You lose your job, your woman, she's looking for your replacement right then and there. You know what I mean? It's a cold reality. That's just how it works, man. It's cold game though. It's a cold game. It's a cold game. Let me see this real quick. He said, I just wish black creators would not go after each other. This shit looks bad. No. Let's talk about what you just said though. It's all the black creators going after one nigga. This is not black, simple fight. It's all the black creators going after Corey Holcomb right now. All of them. You know what I mean? It's all of them. It's all of them going after Corey Holcomb. All of them. I was trying to tell people D's only loyal because that's the only place she can go. And I don't know if it's official. I don't know if you have the information if it's official that she got fired, but she's replaceable, bro. She's very replaceable. And to be honest with you, D's, like, I remember somebody had like critique for D on one of the somebody did a live super chat and they had a critique for D, and Corey Holcomb was literally like, look, this is my woman, right? D's intelligence levels is just, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it, because Darlene is painfully slow, like painfully. I'm say tomorrow, if they do the stream and D is still there, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be so mad if D is still there tomorrow, because she actually holds back the show a little bit, because it's just her intelligence level is not. It's not. It's just not there. It's just, you know what I mean? And that's just like I said, you don't have to follow my lead on that. You don't have to follow my lead. You definitely don't have to follow my lead. So just to make it like, you don't have to follow my lead, but because that's why I told, like, when I do a show, if push come to shove, I don't really see myself having a woman on the show. like if I were to have a woman on the show, it needs to be somebody of a actual intelligence level. It can't be like just some eye candy or, oh, she's been with me. This is all I got. She's sticking with me because she got nowhere else to go. Nah. No. Let's see. Mr. For Your Sister says, bro, I think they've been friends for 16 years. Everyone is losing money from this, not just Corey. He was wrong trying to make her co-sign his ish. But like I said, this is where you're real, because you said she was loyal. This is where it's being tested right now. You know, it's easy to say, I don't co-sign what you did, right? So there's a lot, because there's a lot of people going out their way and saying that they don't co-sign Corey, you know, putting his hands on the broad, right? So she at the end of the day, she still took the easy way out. Like me, I don't even really know these people like that, and I said, look, at the end of the day, she probably had it coming. Whoever Christina Payne is. So your allegiance, look, at the end of the day, this is where your allegiance is going to be tested. I'm not going on the side of a meth head, a druggie, a crackhead. I am not going on Christina Payne's side. So if she gets knocked upside the head, it is what it is. She probably had it coming. And Corey Holcomb went to court for the situation, and the judge basically said the same thing with the ruling. Because you do know, even a muff, if you muff a woman, right, which Corey did, he muffed her, which Corey already admitted, that's still an assault in the court of law. So this is a black man in California, and he goes to court, and they still brought up no charges. So that already shows you they reviewed who this woman was. They looked at what she did, and they were like, oh, she brought this upon herself. Okay? Let me take it another step further, right? Let me take it another step further. On this show, on my show right here, I bring up Kareem Hunt. Because like I said, I love, you know, people's allegiances are being tested. But on this show, on this channel, I've said on this channel many times, Kareem Hunt should have never gotten kicked off the Chiefs, because he got released from the Chiefs in the beginning because he kicked a woman. A video got leaked of him kicking a woman. But when people did their investigations, they found out that white woman came into the party belligerent, talking ish, saying racist stuff, and then she got her ass kicked and got shin punted. Now, when I found that out, when I looked at the situation, I was like, oh, this is a nothing burger. If this was a white dude, he wouldn't have gotten released. Right? But, you know, this whole stance of you can't put your hands on a woman no matter what, I reject that stance. I completely reject that stance. Now, the irony is, in real life, I'm the same way. People know me. Like, if people, they actually know my views when it comes to how people need to act in public. If you're a woman and you acting up, you on your own. Can't do nothing about it. So the irony is, a lot of the women that are around me, they know me, and for some reason they seem to act right. They don't be talking crazy loud in public, because I'll just leave you, because now you're putting me in an impossible situation. This whole thing, you can't put your hands on a woman no matter what. You're creating terrorists. When you say stuff like that. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. You're creating terrorists right in front of people's faces, because now women just think they could just do whatever they want, and then people can't fathom why women won't act right, or women will go to court, especially nowadays, because they locking hoes up. This is not like how back in the day, women can just avoid getting locked. They're locking hoes up now. So now these hoes, they will do wrong, and they'll go to court, and they'll just be shocked that the judge had a ruling against them, or they'll try to play reindeer games in the family court with their baby dad, and they'll be shocked that the judge sides with the dad. I'm talking about they'll be shocked. They could, and they could be doing the wrong right in front of you. We've created a nation of terroristic women. Because we'll just say, it doesn't matter what she did. No, it does matter what she did. What? Oh, man. Let me see. But yeah. I've been the same person on this channel. I've said this. I'm like, look, I don't care if you're a woman. You need to act right. This is not no 1990s where women could just say what they want to do. No. You talk ish on the wrong person, you liable to get your hands put on you. Now, people are running with the Corey's a woman beater thing because TMZ literally put on their label, Corey Holcomb comedian punches. The headline is not gonna hit the same if it says Corey Holcomb stalked by female comedian and he puts his hands on her, and then or Corey Holcomb pushes female comedian away. It's not gonna hit the same. They're not gonna call him an abuser. They're gonna just say he punched. This is why Corey Holcomb's been with people haven't been really peeping game. You'll have people say Corey Holcomb is avoiding accountability. No, he's setting up his lawsuit for TMZ. That's going to be a tough task. Shout out to Ellis is here. Shout out to Garrett Grant. Sorry for the display right now. I'm using OBS. I'm not using StreamYard. So Mr. For Your Sister says the only dual show I like is Abba and Preach. Well, I don't like those hoe ass niggas. Now, Preach, I don't mind per se, but Abba is a slime ball. I have no respect for Abba. That's just my how do I say it? My analysis when it comes to that duel. Preach, I think Preach is a little bit misunderstood. There's a lot of content creators that will say Preach is gay because of how he acts, but I don't think what people understand. When you have guys like a Preach, right? You'll even see it with some Hispanics. They try to assimilate into the Western culture, but assimilating into the Western culture means you're most likely assimilating to become an effeminate man. So they'll wear they'll wear the scarf, they'll wear what they think is fashionable for Western men to wear, but it's faggotry, literally. So they'll assimilate, but they don't realize they're actually about that life. So Preach actually comes across as a dude that I feel like he could put hands on somebody and they can get hurt. Now, Abba, he's a slime ball. He's a sleazeball. When I saw him, dancing with Destiny's chick, that told me everything I needed to know about him. So that's my opinion on those people. So Mr. For Your Sister says, I have no real issue with him mushing her. If she was basically stalking him, in real life, you got limits. I can't deal with a meth head around me. I'm not in violent mode, and it would have been worse. Exactly. Same here. This is why I just make sure I'm out of my way. And I believe this. If you're one of those people, right? I'm not saying you. I'm saying like in general. If you're one of these people, like in the normie sphere, what you're saying is there's no reason to put your hands on a woman. It needs to be coming from it needs to be coming from a legitimate place, not you virtual signaling. Meaning this, you need to tell dudes, okay, you can't put your hands on a woman, and you got to tell them, look, it's because no matter what the woman does, they're just going to look at you as the bad guy, no matter what you do, right? So it's got to be You got to you got to say the full story on why you can't put your hands on women. You got to be like, look, there's going to be women that are evil and they're just going to try to provoke a reaction out of you. Unfortunately, you're just going to have to turn the other cheek or stay away from her. And even then, look what happened with Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors literally was running away from the broad, and he lost his whole career. So isn't that interesting? So when Jonathan Majors went through what he went through, instead of, I hope people, particularly black men, I hope you guys notice this. Although the black men trying to hate on Corey. Notice all the women, most of the black women had no sympathy for Jonathan Majors. They're like, well, he shouldn't have been messing with a white woman. Well, really, the smart people should be like, holy shit, you could literally be running away from a woman and you could still lose your whole career if she decides to abuse you or she puts her hands on you. And people were only saying that she was doing it just because she was white and she had power. But black women will still do the same thing to you. They'll still pull it on you. It's not that, oh, she's white and whatever. If black women have the power to ruin your career, or they think they have the power to ruin your career, they're going to do the exact same thing. And you're seeing it here with Christina Payne. Exactly. Ellis is here, says, remember what the female comedian from Chicago said. She said the meth head wasn't a victim. She was just playing a victim. Facts. Facts. He said, keep them hoes turned up so they know how to act right. It's not like I said, once you tell them what it is, it's interesting. Because they could say what they want about me, behind closed doors. I could care less. Look. So I remember somebody like in my group chat, in one of my music group chats, try to be slick about it. And I was like, well, Christina Payne, she probably had it coming. Whatever happened to her. And I basically broke down what happened. And then he Broski laughed it off. Right? He laughed it off. But he was trying to say something slick about my boy. And it's interesting, he hasn't been brought up in the chat ever again in a slick manner. So it is what it is. But most of these dudes that you see that are trying to, reprimand Corey Holcomb, it's all a facade. It's all, these guys had none of that smoke for Dana White. I want you to notice this is what people need. They had none of that smoke for Dana White when Dana White was caught on camera putting his hands on his woman. And what Dana White did, if any NFL player did that, they would have lost their career. Right? These content creators, they had nothing to say about what Orange Man allegedly did with his broads or what what Dana White did with his broads. They took the side of the white man, and I've really noticed that, And they say I'm a coon. They'll say I'm a coon, but it's very few black people sticking up for an innocent black man, particularly with this Corey Holcomb situation. Very few. Is exactly. Mr. For Your Sister says Jonathan Majors running away lost hundreds of millions. He believes in that. Not putting your hands on a woman no matter what. He ran away and he lost the money and people are laughing. That should show people what it is. Oh, it's because you're a white girl. No. Women understand that they can act like terrorists and get away with it. Most of these dudes, it's all performative. They all these people that have words for Corey Holcomb, it's all performative, all of it. I'm telling you, because they did the same. Because I saw it with Kareem Hunt. I see. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned Tyreek Hill. It's all performative nonsense. Because these dudes had nothing to say about Dana White. Not in this. What? I didn't see a whole bunch of people. All they said was, "Damn." That's all they said when Dana White went through what he with his broad. Or you had Stephen A. Smith coming on there. Well, Dana White is my friend, so I know that blah blah blah. I was like, are y'all serious? I think really people will say that white men have a problem with confident black men. I think it's just everybody. Me personally, I don't think it's just white dudes. The reason why I get a little bit irritated with the race baiting sometimes, because when it comes to black men in general, especially if they have their own way of thinking, they get reprimanded the most. Right? This happened to me growing up. So all this talk about white supremacy and all this stuff, nah, we as a people, we're our own worst enemy. Dude, remember? Okay, when Louis C.K. Let me not even bring him up. Let me not even bring it up. But just seeing the people on the online, you know what I mean? This is okay. So, Mr. For Your Sister, let me pin your chat real quick. Let me see if I can do it. So I pinned your chat. He says Stephen A. Smith. Excuse me. Sorry. He says Stephen A. Smith always bows to the people that have a bigger bag. That ish makes me sick. That's all of them. That's all of them. All these people that have things to say about Corey Holcomb, that's all of them. All they do is bow down to people with a bigger bag. Anton Daniels is a conservative because he knows there's a marketplace for that. Right? They're not. If these guys lose their monetization, they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop their little jig. Trust me. They lose their monetization, all of a sudden their whole thing changes. Their whole you know what I mean? That's all they are. You know what I mean? But anyway, shout out to you for that message, because that's real ish right there. Shout out to Reaper in the chat. I really wish I had my StreamYard up. I would have added him in just to see what he has to say. But OBS to add people on OBS is a whole freaking process to do, which is really annoying. But anyways, I think you could still hear the desktop audio if I play this video. So I'm gonna just keep this overlay on, and I'm gonna play what Corey Holcomb is saying here.
Oh yeah, it was this other dude talking crazy about me. I couldn't help it. Some of these guys, I just got to say something.
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Fruit Booty Buttons.
Oh,
See, I never say their name.
yeah.
As you should.
I got a name for him. Fruit Booty Buttons
I know you.
and his crew. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater. Fruit Booty Buttons is a serial woman beater. Was talking about how he sat. They said the girl said
God,
the girl said
that-
he sat on my stomach and made me have a miscarriage. You know what he said? I didn't sit. I sat on top of her titties or something. He said I sat on where her breast was. That's where I was sitting.
Oh, wow.
Fruit Booty Buttons, I know you ain't talking crazy about me, homie. I know you ain't talking crazy about me, homie. I mean, most of the time, all you guys who say what you say, I don't care what you say online. I expect you to talk about me. Yeah, Fruit Booty Buttons. They know who I'm talking about. Fruit Booty Buttons. That motherfucker say, I think he said I was a bitch-ass nigga or something. Yeah, I'll be a bitch-ass nigga online. Online, I'm a bitch-ass nigga. Man to man, I ain't no bitch-ass nigga, homie.
But shout out to Reaper Rel in the chat. This is because since I see Reaper in the chat, let me talk to him specifically. Don't you find it interesting though, where all these people are quote unquote sticking up for Christina Payne? They don't even know who she is. Like Tasha had to literally she distanced herself from Chris. If Tasha K's distancing herself from you, you know that lady is bogus. All this stuff is performative. You got these dudes out here. They don't like Corey Holcomb for whatever reason. First of all, women don't like him because of the abortion jokes and the single mammy jokes. This is what I hope people understand. All this orchestrated campaign to quote unquote cancel Corey. It's all orchestrated because women, they just can't handle that the abortion jokes because they feel guilty about all the souls they sent to the gulag. They act like somebody forced them to have an abortion. And then somebody just makes a joke about it, and they feel a certain type of way. And then when he talks about the single mammies and how women in America act in general, Corey Holcomb has said more scathing things about men than the women. He's just been telling women that like the hoes got to act right. Just that's all he's been saying. He ain't saying nothing different than what I've heard like my grandpa said. Like let's keep it a buck. All this stuff. Like I've heard my grandpa say like women need to do this, but it's not out of hate. It's just common sense. Just common sense. And then the dudes that are attacking him is all performative because they don't want to be seen as I'm taking the side of the quote unquote abuser, right? They're afraid of the pussy that they gonna miss out on, which they were never gonna get in the first place. But you know what I mean. But that's just how dudes are. So I have all these dudes that are doing these think pieces on Corey Holcomb, how he's wrong for this, he's wrong for that. They had nothing to say about Dana White. I'm talking about zero things to say about Dana White. And they stuck with Orange Man with umpteenth allegations on him. I'm talking about Orange Man got how many allegations on him? Dana White caught on camera literally putting his hands on it. They had nothing to say. They would never go on Howard Stern's show and tell him how Howard Stern needs to treat the women on his show. They would never do that. They will never do that. But like I said, when it's a black man that lets his nuts hang, no homo. A black man that lets his nuts hang, it just rubs people the wrong way. Not just white people, just black people in general. They don't know. They can't see they don't know how to react to a free ninja. They don't know how to react to a free ninja, and it's not just white people. Nope. Y'all gotta stop with this whole blaming. Like This is gonna have to stop today. People could complain about white supremacy and all this stuff all they want to. White trolls in the chat, white trolls on Twitter. All the people that are trying to cancel Corey right now is off the leadership of a small hat on TMZ, and it's all black content creators. It's all black content creators trying to cancel Corey Holcomb. I didn't see not one white, not one Hispanic, not one half. I didn't see a Mexican. You know, yeah. So Reaper's in the chat. He's telling you guys right now. Yep, Budden has literally a history of hitting and verbally abusing women. He says all these celebs will shut up to the small hats who've been caught doing worse, but who manage them or control their finances. These people, like, once you find out who the people in charge, what they be doing to their women, bro. But like, once they don't do nothing, and first of all, you're seeing it with the Epstein files. You're seeing it with the Epstein files. You know what? Do you guys understand on the Epstein files? Like, it's telling you that you have these elites. They're eating kids. I'm talking about they're eating kids. Quote unquote harvesting their souls, open satanic worship, and they got no smoke. All these so-called proud gun-owning people, they ain't doing nothing. They got nothing to do. But you got all the smoke for Corey, man. Y'all, these people can miss me with that. Exactly. He says Reaper also says Dana White literally was caught on camera hitting his wife. They had these. I'm talking about none of these black YouTubers had nothing to say. Nothing to say. No, nobody going out their way to try to cancel Dana. They don't like Corey Holcomb because he speaks his mind. He's one of the last of a dying breed of a black man in terms of him speaking his mind. He's not married to a party. He's not married to politics. He doesn't care if you're a man, woman. He's going to speak the truth. That's it. And if you see, like me, because I've seen obviously a lot of women going out their way, he's not funny. It's about time he gets canceled. Of course they're gonna say it. But like I said, it's all black women. I didn't see no white women. I didn't see no Latinas. It's all black women, all black men trying to cancel Corey. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. He said Joe Budden has literally said he didn't want to say anything. Oh yeah, he didn't want to say anything about these topics. Cuz yeah, when I'm going to show these people the video or show them the audio clip of the video. So Mr. For Your Sister said, yeah, Corey and Aries Spears will never get big. They are too honest. Now, here's the thing with Aries. Aries, he's actually done the things necessary to get big. He's kissed a man on camera. He's actually done the things to be on TV. And he's been on TV before. He did Mad TV and all that. He does have the right small hats as his friends, and he still hasn't really made it big for some reason, But Aries Spears, unfortunately, he's done things to be like, I don't know. Reaperell says, I've been to 3 Corey Holcomb shows. You know who laughs the most? Black women. This is facts. But, they're not going to mention it. Like the women that are in the comments, they're that are literally offended at Corey. It's just out of emotion. But I'm like I said, I've been kind of ignoring the women's responses to it. I've been focusing particularly on black men's response to Corey. Yeah. So yeah, Reaperell, he's saying it right here. It says Aries is a soulless idiot. He's tried too hard and burned his own bridges. Listen to his stories on meeting Eddie Murphy and Denzel Washington, where they tell him to stop trying too hard. Yeah, Aries, unfortunately, because he came in the game young. He came in at 16, right? All he really hit for I'm talking about specifically with Aries Spears. All he had to do was stay in shape, and he would have been fine, right? Just off the physical, he would have been fine. And then number 2, he's had legit opportunities with people, and because he tried to be something that he's not, a lot of the times, he kind of poo-pooed his own success. Just from my observations of him. Where even because I I remember he did a interview. I don't know if you know this one woman. She's kind of famous on Twitter. I think her name is like Erica something. I think she might be I think she's Muslim, but she did a show with Aries Spears, and this dude really came off as a predator. And I'm like, out of all women, why are you doing this to her, bruh? The fuck? It came across weird because it was like one of the few women that I was like, you know what, she's actually has something to say. She's actually a decent being. I think her name is like Erica or something, but she might be. But I just remember seeing a portion of it, and she was like really just like, dog, you doing too much. He's the type of dude, unfortunately, Aries, like he's the type of dude, if he gets too drunk, you can't have him around women. He just comes across as that type of person. Mr. For Your Sister says, because they have done the same ish. This is why women are going after him so hard. Oh, another thing too. Notice all these people that were talking about, the alleged fight, and all these people that were outside in the fight. I'm like, have you guys noticed that there was like 20 ninjas outside, right? All these dudes that was outside, and there was also a dude that stuck up for her in terms of when Corey muffed her. Her boyfriend kind of stepped in to quote unquote protect her. Notice, out of all those people outside, nobody had anything good. Nobody stuck up for Christina Payne in public. I'm talking about in public. Nobody came out and said, Christina Payne is a decent person and blah blah blah. I'm like, no. I'm talking like there was like a million people outside. Nobody came out and said Christina Payne is a good person. Corey Holcomb shouldn't have done what he did. All of them are just saying, no, Corey Holcomb shouldn't have just done that. Just because. Just because it's a woman. He shouldn't have done that. That should tell you everything you need to know. I'm like, not one person will come up to the defense of Christina Payne's character. Even Tasha K. Is distancing herself because she realized she brought a full-on scammer on her show. Tasha K thinks she's slick. I'm like, I notice how you're distancing yourself. I noticed that. Like, you think you slick. Oh, man. Reaper Rel says, remember his interview with his former castmate from Mad TV where basically he said he would give up anything for fame. Yes, I've seen that. I've seen that for fame and fortune, and the co-host was almost crying to change Aries' mind. I've seen that. Oh, yeah, Marcus is a liar. Reaper. So Reaper said Marcus didn't help. He said, I've turned on Marcus. He got snake vibes to him. I told you, man. I told you. I was like, look, Reaper, I told you, I was like, look, we might not see eye to eye on this, but Marcus, I was like, and look, people might have thought I came off as a bully when it came to Marcus. But Ryan Davis' story, did you see Ryan Davis' story with Shannon Sharp? This is why Corey Holcomb and Marcus fell out. I didn't know that was the reason. I just felt like Marcus, he keeps getting caught. He keeps getting caught lying on camera too much. That was my problem with him. So it was hard for me to trust him. But when Ryan Davis told the story about the miscommunication between him, Marcus, and Corey, Ryan Davis brought Marcus on the road with him. Marcus wasn't acting right. He was acting like a person that hasn't done it before. Ryan Davis tried to give him some discipline. And what Marcus was doing, he was relaying back false information to Corey. And this is why Corey Holcomb was going on the show talking about Ryan Davis might be gay, and he had Transformers working for Ryan Davis had Transformers working for him. But that was because Marcus was giving him false information. This is why Corey and Marcus fell out. Oh, man. And so when Ryan told the story, and then when Ryan told the story, I was like, oh, so that's why Corey, that's the real reason why Corey and Marcus fell out. He was telling him fake information, and that strained the relationship between Corey and Ryan, and that was basically Marcus' fault. And shout out to Ryan Davis for not throwing Corey Holcomb under the bus. Because I think when Ryan Davis told that story, you could tell that Ryan Davis forgave Corey Holcomb for him and, Corey kind of falling out. But it looks like they're making a little bit of amends. So that's good. That's good. But that's why they fell out. I was like, oh my God, Marcus is terrible. You know what I mean? This dude, he be lying too much, man. That's my problem. This dude just be, I'm like, and the stuff that he'll lie about. I'm like, you do know we can look the stuff up. Like, we got the cameras, we got even about the fight. It's just like, oh my God. Now, I'll say this, Reaper, mind you, I used to stick up for Marcus too. I'm talking about when he was on the show. Because people used to be on the chat getting on Marcus for lying. I'm like, look, it's Corey's show. He has him underneath him. If Marcus ends up, if they end up falling out, we'll see what happens about that. But then when Corey Holcomb finally dropped Marcus, and Corey didn't even really dive into why he dropped Marcus. He just gave some, the same basic stuff that he mind you, he never called Marcus gay. That's how you know he's dead serious about what happened between them. He didn't call Marcus gay. He just said, look, I did everything for you. I bought you a car, blah, 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 blah. And you still doing things the way you want to do, and you're not handling yourself in a certain way. But Corey kind of said it in his way. That's how I knew that was a serious matter. But those people in the comment section with the Ryan Davis video, you could tell they didn't really listen. They just all said, man, Corey Holcomb got beef with everybody. Just the same nonsense. I'm like, that's what you took from the thing? I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, exactly. Reaper Rel's the same. Yep, Marcus was telling Ryan personal-ish to Corey's and snaking Ryan behind his back. Why? I'm like, how are you going to do that to somebody and Ryan is literally putting you on tour? And then I remember Corey had said that Corey had said that he was going to bring Craig on tour with him. He was bringing Craig on tour with him, and then he said he saw Marcus' face, and that he was very upset about that. Unfortunately, when we talk about, even Corey Holcomb's talked about it. Nick Saban has talked about this. Marginal talent, right? They tend to get mad at the actual talented people. And Marcus is one of those people. And that's a damn shame. He was relaying, the Fugazi, stuff to Corey while being on the road with Ryan Davis, and you trying to play both sides of the fence, basically pitting Corey against Ryan. That's let me see this. Trying to read this. Here we go. It says Marcus asked Corey, so you don't think I'm your real friend? And Corey was like, you cool, but nah. That's when Corey could have exposed Marcus, but he didn't. Exactly. That what's it, the Club Shay Shay interview with Ryan Davis, that told me everything. I was like, oh, so that's what happened. I was like, I get it. I was like, that whole ass day. I'm like, it was a lot worse than what I thought. Cause I'm like, it's serious when he, like Corey Holcomb, when he's like talking about somebody that he's cooling on, and he doesn't call them gay. And he's just like, nah, you fuck that guy. And I remember even in the middle of his soliloquy when he was distancing himself from Marcus, he kept it really short. I was like, oh, this is serious. Usually Corey Holcomb, he'll get in his, his diatribe. That's where the comedy, comes in. But with Marcus, he kept it real short with that. Because I always felt I was like, damn. Because I always felt that Ryan Davis was really hurt about the Corey Holcomb situation. I always felt like he was really hurt about that. Same with Nate Jackson, right? And but luckily, like they made amends though. Nate Jackson and Ryan Davis, it looks like from my vantage point, it looks like they made amends. But those are guys you could tell they looked up to Corey too. But to find out that Marcus was the one that basically strained the situation. Oh my God, just awful, just awful. But Marcus, like, that's what I'm telling you. With Marcus, this nigga, he just be lying. He lies too much for me to trust him. That's always been my position on Marcus. He does too, and he's just been caught on camera doing too much nonsense. And the stories, the things that Corey is alleging about Marcus, that shouldn't even be a story because Corey literally grabbed you from nothing, bro. No disrespect. And was financing you, you know. So I felt like Marcus, with the position, I don't think Marcus realized the position that Corey kind of put him in to help him succeed, and you were still doing that nonsense behind his back. That's, you know. He said Craig took shots at Marcus too. I didn't really take it as shots, but it was interesting. Craig tried to take a shot at Ryan Davis, but Corey nipped that in the bud. I don't think I'll say this, me personally. I think Craig had a little beef with Ryan Davis. That's my opinion. I could be wrong about that, but I think Craig had a little bit of beef with Ryan Davis. But that doesn't, in my opinion, that's not gonna ruin his standings with Corey. He's not gonna go Craig's not gonna go out his way to damn Ryan Davis just off of some personal ish to ruin his relationship with Corey. So, because at the end of the day, it's Corey's show. He's not gonna put that beef first. But I'll say this: if Marcus has anything to say about Craig, she needs to stop, because Craig actually tried to put Marcus on game a couple of times, but Marcus he's Jesus Christ, this guy. But anyways, I'm gonna leave Marcus alone because it's gonna feel like I'm bullying him. But he's one of those, like, especially with his situation, him being 30s in his mid 30s, and he's still living with his mom. I mean, bruh. No disrespect, but it's like, dog, you like 30, you like in your late 30s? Come on, man. And now he's saying all this snake stuff behind Corey's, you know, since now they're not doing content together anymore. Corey's he's self-destructed. I'm just waiting for the self-destruct. You know, him and his country bumpkin self. I'm just waiting for the self-destruct. You know how Marcus talk. Mr. For Your Sister says, I'm so glad I'm self-centered. I do not get jealous of Ish or worry about what another man has. What I ain't got, I ain't got. It happens a lot, even in the music game that I'm in. You know, even for small time stuff, it's like you'll see these dudes. Like, I found out recently that the reason why I was getting a lot of gigs in general, just in general, there was a keyboard player who was acting a GD fool. I'm talking about a GD fool from where I'm at. And people that's from my state, they probably know exactly who I'm talking about. That's how bad this guy is in terms of as a character. But even still, I'm like, what? I never knew this. But apparently, everywhere he went, nonsense followed. Him talking crazy about this. Him pulling up to people's shows after he got fired, doing where I'm talking about he shows up and then all of a sudden people are like, man, where's my strap? People are saying this live. Just like, what the fuck? And you're just like, what in the hell? Or you'll have, I remember there's this one, I did a show. I did a show at a college recently. Yesterday. I did a show at a college. We had I think 3 keyboard players. Well, no, because one of the keyboard players was also a sax player. So he was mainly playing sax, but it was like, so basically 2 keyboard players. the guy that came in doing keys, he was supposed to take the lead of main keys, and I was just supposed to do aux. But the problem is, he was literally doing all the chords wrong. He was doing all this stuff, and people were telling me, "Look, Chris, we need you to take main keys," and I'm like, "Look, I feel like I'll be bullying if I'm doing that." So we did a compromise. I took basically all the hard songs, and then he got, the nice, easy R&B songs. I'm like, okay, I'll just do the jazz songs that, not all of us can do. We'll just do that, and then I'll just do aux for the rest of the other songs since they're simple enough, right? And mind you, I think he is a better keyboard player, just technically proficiently. But when you're playing main keys, you can't be fucking up the songs. Your voicings have to be spot on, especially if you're doing jazz. If you're doing jazz, or how about this, R&B, specifically with R&B, your chords can't be off, because especially if you're copying an R&B song, it has to be a certain way. This dude was playing it wrong. I'm not gonna tell him he's playing it wrong. Unfortunately, he's gonna find out. So literally right during the gig, the couple of songs that I did main keys on, which was the initial songs, a lot of the initial songs, his keyboard was messing up. This dude brought some fucked up wires. His keyboard was. I'm like, bruh, you're supposed to. I took cover. I did the main keys part for some of those songs, and then I did my jazz songs. And what I noticed, there were two girls at the gig. They came to me, and they were like, "Hey, can I get your?" It was a homegirl and her stud friend. Her friend looked like a stud. She's like, can I get your Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I was put on the spot. I didn't expect to get approached like that, because she was just outright shooting a shot. She kind of did it in the cover of, oh, you guys are dope, but she asked me specifically for the Instagram, so I kind of deflected. I was like, oh yeah, do we have an Instagram? And she was like, no, she said, put your Instagram in there. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Put my Instagram. Dude, for the rest of the show, anytime I try to cover like an aux part, this dude would he would play over me. OD play over me. And I'm like, we went over this. I'm covering this, I'm covering that. Trying to cover everybody's part. Anytime somebody else tried to do a solo, he was covering over everybody. He was doing a little bit too much. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Male jealousy is a real thing, man. It's a real thing. Sometimes you can't do too much. Sometimes, like, for real. But sometimes sometimes out of jealousy, you'll literally play yourself out of a spot. Because I remember halftime of the show came up, and the drummer's like, look, bro, this is the plan. You're in, he's out. Bottom line. And he basically lost his spot here and there. Because it's not necessarily about his keyboard not working. It's not necessarily just him not knowing his parts. It's just, or like one of our, the saxophone player had to give him his quarter inch. Like, this dude was, bruh. Oh yeah, showed up late. Right? But it's not just that. It's understanding not to overplay. Understanding where you're at. You know what I mean? Not overplaying over people's solos. Not doing this. Going with the flow. You know, some people, they want to stand out so bad that they end up playing themselves out of a spot, which was already, it would have been literally given to you if you just relax. But Mr. For Your Sister said, oh, you got that stud love. Oh, shoot, I have her Instagram too. How the fuck she get my Instagram? Look, it was okay. What had happened was because it was a young light skinned bitch, but the stud was she was dark skinned, right? But she kind of stayed behind the light skinned girls. She just kind of stood behind her. But the light skinned girl, she gave me her phone, and she's like, "No, put your Instagram in." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." How did she get my Instagram? What the fuck? I remember. Then I get another notification. Oh, so and so wants to follow. I'm like, oh, that's the. Yeah, I don't know how she got it, but that'd be fucked up though if I slid in the DMs of both of them. That would be messed up. They both gonna relay that to each other. Like, hey, who slid in who? But oh yeah, thank God I did that thing where I have my personal account and then I have my music account. I am so happy I did that. Yo, I am so happy I did that, man. Oh my God. Oh man, because I got my YouTube one and then I have my music account. I'm so happy I did my pages separate. So now I can just be like, okay, this is my music account and then this is my personal account. But yeah, usually for me, I always say this. It always goes bad when women give me female attention. It always goes bad, meaning this, because particularly if it's a bunch of other young men, and if another woman gives me props out of all the people there for some, if I'm not around the Chads and Tyrones, people get upset. For some reason, because what happens is because people in general, particularly the regular dudes, they look at me and they just think I'm not. Oh, there's no way he's gonna get no whatever. So I think that's what it is. That's why usually what I do when it comes to, especially when it comes to hanging out, or if it comes to talking about my personal problems or my woman, I try to make sure I'm hanging with like a dude that gets bitches on a consistent, because weird stuff always happens when a woman gives me attention amongst the normies. I've even talked about it, with when I do those studio sessions. There was this one piano bitch. She started giving me some attention. Well, all she did was compliment me out of everybody else. That's all she did. And now people started acting weird. Her ex started. I didn't even know that the dude was her ex. Ex started acting weird with me. Dude I usually talk to started acting weird because he liked the bitch. This is why me personally, especially in the music scene or just in general, I try to align myself with the elites of the talents, because I just want to just do my job. Look, when I play music, this is the only decent thing I can do in life. Literally, I'm a failure at everything else. This is the one thing decently I can do. Just decently. And I can just do it just solid enough to get some stuff here and there. But some people can't handle that. Some people cannot handle that I just show up. I don't be smoking with the fellas. I don't hang out afterwards. I literally do my stuff and go home. And for some reason it still bothers people. Or it'll be like a rumor here and there. Like I remember one time somebody would these motherfuckers thought I was gay or something, just because I just don't, like, I will openly say, I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to hang out with no broads, right? Or they'll see me work with a gay artist and they don't see me making a big deal about it. And then I remember that was going around. I'm like, what the fuck? But when you have stuff going around about you like that, that's somebody's hating on you, or multiple people are hating on you. And the hate only starts, not necessarily when I start playing good, it only starts when certain broads start giving me credit. And it's never a ugly broad that's giving me credit. It's usually some pretty broad that just, hey, I even like when I was in school, I just hope that the dudes that be mad at me if a white bitch is talking to me, I hope they don't. I hope they understand. Like, look, I have a lot of African features. Right? I have a lot of African features, right? So they're just gonna speak to me just off of curiosity, like, oh, who's this immigrant? that's how they look. Those white girls, they think that I'm some immigrant or something. So they just like, that's kind of cool. You might be something different. But then as soon as I start talking, they realize, oh, I'm from here. I just hope the dudes understand. It's not like the hoes really like me. They don't really like me. It's a curiosity because I don't look like the normal person, right? And the only reason why those two broads approached me is because they didn't see my mullet. If they saw my mullet, they would have not approached me. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy's a black redneck." I had my mullet hidden, man. I came in there with a beanie. The beanie hides my age, bro. Like, for real. The beanie hides my age. That's the only reason why I got approached. They thought I was they thought I was one of the college kids. And since in the band, since the whole band, like a lot of these guys are in their 50s, 40s, some in their 30s. I was the youngest looking one there, right? And I had a beanie on. So out of all the people, I looked like the youngest. And it looked like at the time I was on main keys, even though we didn't really have main keys for this gig per se. But they saw me. I was the youngest person there. They saw me doing all the solos. They saw me taking control. They approached me. That's how it worked. It's not no like, oh my gosh, they're so attracted to me. No, it's just deductive. what they call it? Deductive reasoning. That's all it was. That's literally all it was. That's the reason why the girls, they approached me. I'm in a band. I look like the youngest one in the band, and it looks like I'm the one directing everybody else. That's all it was. But yeah, after that interaction, I'm not talking about the other people in the band, because the other people in the band, they came with their wives and all that. I'm talking about specifically between me and the keyboard player. He just started OD overplaying me. So anytime I try to come in with the aux, I try to come in with some brass, some synths. He would just, instead of doing what he was doing in the beginning, he started playing my brass parts. He started playing my synths part. He started doing. I'm like, okay. I'm just trying to add the color to your stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had to step back a little bit, because at the end of the day, I want the show to go smooth. But it is what it is. It's never a normal situation with me and the broads. But I hope people understand it's not like a crazy attraction like that. It's just I'm a weird looking dude in public, or just in that or in that situation. I was the youngest looking dude there, and I don't smell like ass, right? No disrespect to Broski, but bro smelled like he didn't take a shower. Like, these little things, these things matter, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of dudes out here. They'll walk around and you can smell it on them. They did not shower, and then they'll be shocked why hoes are not necessarily approaching them. Like, bro, you gotta shower. You see this? It just hit me. Mr. For Your Sister says, it just hit me. If black men would treat each other as if they were white, the world would be a better place. Literally. That's why, remember when Kwame Brown had said, look, you gonna treat me like how you treat them white boys. And you saw how dudes was getting mad when Kwame Brown was saying that. But there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. That's why, shout out to Kwame Brown as well. As he said, it sounds like they are setting you up for that threesome. You ain't the predator, you're the prey. He said, let me hit that last part that you said. He said, they don't have any dirt on you, so they don't trust you. Human nature is easy as hell to figure out. Exactly. This is why, like, I will hear all bunch of stuff about, like, it'll be like other people will come up to me and they'll be like, Chris, but do you do this? But do you do that? And I'm like, no. This happened to me a lot in high school. I'm like, no, I don't do this. I don't do that. No, I don't smoke. I don't blah, blah, blah. I'm not with this. I'm not with that. And it's always the same thing. Chris, I had you all wrong in the beginning. And I'm like, and I used to be like, so where did he get his information from? I used to be like Lloyd Banks. I used to be like, where the communication? He said, how could that possibly happen? You ever seen that prank where Eminem and 50 Cent was pranking Lloyd Banks, but they were actually giving him his first like gold plaque? And they were like, man, we heard you was talking crazy about M. He was like, how is that even possible? He said, the communications, I don't understand. That's literally that's me. People always get me wrong off of first glance. But I don't do happy hour. None of that. Even like when I would work some odd jobs here and there, I try to assimilate, try to do what I can, but I just don't hang out with the group afterwards. And they act like something's wrong with me for not wanting to hang out with the group. It's weird. I'm talking about I will do everything right. I will assimilate, do what's told. I'm talking about I don't argue. The boss could literally be giving me a crappy deal. I just be like, okay, whatever. Go ahead. I'm talking about I don't complain to nobody about it. And then I come back with all these nonsense rumors about me. I'm like, what in the hell? Where did that even come from? It's probably like one or two places where I worked where no rumors were spread about me. And I'm actually like those people I'm actually friends with to this day. It's one dude that I remember specifically. I remember this one guy that I worked with like 2 or 3 years ago. That dude was mad chill. I would literally tell this guy all my like inside jokes, and I would never hear a relay. Meaning, I would never hear back from somebody else. Oh, I heard that you say this. Never. He was literally the only person I could trust. And then like you'll have the people come in from time to time, the seasonal workers that was coming in from time to time. They were cool, but that one specific dude, I was like, shout out to you. I literally told him like, bro, do you have an Instagram? You have your any contacts information? I was like, I really like you, bro. you're a rare one. Because I would even say some slick shit about management. I would never hear a relay. Never. Ever. It was that guy was awesome. I would stick up for him any time of the day. He was the only person I talked to at work. But by the way, don't ever tell your boss what you do on the side. It's gonna spread like wildfire. Like I remember one time I told my boss about, look, I gotta leave work early because I gotta go to New York. I gotta do this gig. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I have to do this, whatever, blah blah blah. And I thought that was just gonna stay between me and the boss. Nope. Nope. Everybody ended up finding out. What are you, like a DJ or something? No, I really don't like people, because I don't really like people in my personal business. Because I don't really feel like talking about it. Yeah, don't tell your boss. But yeah, that's real what you said about, they don't have dirt on you. That's So yeah, and then unfortunately the problem is, if you're a straight laced type of dude at these work sites, they're gonna think that you're like a undercover, that you're working undercover for like management. That's another thing too. If they see you just doing your job and you're just straight laced, even if you struggle a little bit with your work, but you're just straight laced, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you do what you need to be told, you do your job and you go home, people are gonna think that you're an agent. Excuse me. But anyways, let me keep. I don't know. I went off. I went off, man.
But man to man, you a serial woman beater. Everybody do the homework on Fruit Booty Buttons and all of the women that have accused him of actually beating them up since you want some heat, since you couldn't leave me alone. Everybody.
Mr. For your sister said you sound like a Sigma male. Well, I'll say this. I don't really believe in all that stuff. You know what I mean? I believe in this. I do believe there is, you'll have an alpha male per se, but it's very few alphas. Very few. I'm a person, like, I believe that every man can not chase. Every man can be masculine, meaning there's a level of masculinity where every man can be. Every man can be masculine. Every man can I don't know what the word is, but the pursuit, I don't know, the pursuit of masculinity, I think that's something that every man can do. But in terms of, all these people, they think they're alpha males or they think somebody's a beta male or whatever. Look, there's very few alphas, right? I don't know about Sigma because that's something that I've seen. Because I would consider myself, because there's like, you have alpha, then you got like delta, and then you have beta. I think I'm like below beta, actually. The thing is, though, the activities or the hobbies that I'm involved with, it involves a lot of alpha males a lot of times, or a lot of wannabe alpha males. And then if I rise to the top, it kind of messes up what they think an alpha male is. So, for example, I always tell you, like, particularly when I would play soccer, I'm always the outsider, even though I'm the best player on the team, because they want me. They'll want me to step. They want me to step into that leadership role, but I just basically refuse it because I didn't have the confidence in myself. I didn't literally look at myself as the leader. Even though I remember one specific team, I scored all the goals. I scored all these. I had all the assists. After every single game, you'll have all the coaches literally coming to me like, "Hey, man, you were really good out there, man." But imagine you're the best player on the team. Opposition giving you credit, the ref is giving you credit, and they want you to be the leader, and they want you to, and that person, the team wants you to be more collaborative, but there's no connection, right? It's just, there's no, there's just no connection between me and that person. I actually have more in common with whoever, like, the best player is. I might actually have more in common with the alpha, but I don't even want to be with the alpha dude because I don't see myself as the alpha. So it sucks. Sometimes it sucks because, like, even I'll be in a situation, even with the gig I was just talking about. they were basically asking me, look, you need to take leadership. You need to take control of this and tell him to do. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. What the fuck? He was supposed to be main keys. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm showing up to the situation. This is a bunch of veterans, right? I'm assuming he knows this, but I end up like signing myself up to situations where I end up becoming the best. And then anytime I try to put myself in a stack situation, it works. But then some technicality happens. Like because the last time I was in a stack situation, I was like 10 or 11 years old, where basically everybody on my team were great players, and I was one of the followers. I was like 11 or 12 years old. No, 13. Yeah, when I was 13, I played with this one player. This one soccer player. He ended up he was going pro. But even then, like his father was the coach. He paid for my uniform, because he was very critical in my development as a soccer player. Like he saw me as something else, where everybody saw me as like just this one thing. He actually helped me with like my full like development. And then I ended up blossoming into something completely different than what my trajectory was. So even in that situation, it was just like I'm just fitting in with a group full of stacked players, and I still end up becoming something else. So, it's stuff like that happens. Or putting myself in a stack situation was never always it was never really in my nature, especially when it came to sports. Now, music, that's different. For music, I try to find the best people possible, right? I try to find the best people possible when it comes to music, right? But when it came to sports, I was just told that, look, you need to lead your team. If you're the best player on your team, everybody got their own team. That's how I was taught when it came to sports. But everybody was stacking the deck. Everybody, This is why you don't see me I don't go crazy on LeBron James, because everybody's doing the LeBron James method. From what I saw. Oh, man. He said it's the reason why I said Sigma. I need to look up what Sigma is and really what it is, because I've seen it, and then because people think that they're actual lone wolves, but it's very few. But it's actually few like people that can really do shit by themselves, and can actually be successful. You know what I mean? It's very few people. You have to be a very disciplined person. Not only disciplined, but you also have to be elite at what you do. So in terms of like Sigma, it's a lot of people that might claim it, but I'm not gonna claim, because I'm not in full. I don't feel like I'm in full control most times, so I don't try to trip over it. He says, you're not a follower, so you are not a beta. It's the reason why I said Sigma. He said, I've never wanted to be the best employee or be a manager or a supervisor. I'm either silly or very direct, so the number 2. Yeah, same with me. Very direct or silly. Most of the time, just direct.
Somebody do the research on Fruit Booty Buttons and see how he is a serial woman beater. Fruit Booty Buttons? Yeah. You and your crew talk about that, since y'all need subject matter, because y'all admit y'all watch me. I don't watch y'all. I just saw that. I saw that clip where y'all was talking crazy about me. I'm like, what? They talk crazy about me? This man jump on women. Do you think this is a lie? A lot of men who mess with men and women fight women. Is that a lie? It is my opinion that a lot of men who sleep with men and women fight women.
Well, if your girl got the...
I would agree with that too. But people took that and they were like, "Well, didn't you get in a fight with that girl?" I'm like, "Bro, you guys cannot be this autistic. If you have a history of fighting with women, then something might be wrong with you." That's what he was trying to say. But it was a lot of people being intentionally dense, autistic, all the superlatives, all the adjectives, all of that. But anyways, I have the response video. I got Joe Budden's response. Let me play Joe Budden's response. Let me hit bookmarks. Let me see if I can play Joe Budden's response. Oh, yeah, right here. I'm not going to do it full screen, though. Yeah, I'm not going to do full screen. Let me see if I can take this. I'm so mad I can't take this off. I'm trying to see if I can. Let's see what happens if I do this. I want to do this stuff justice. Here we go.
Well enough to do this with me.
Let me play the clip right here. So this is Joe Budden's response to Corey Holcomb. I obviously didn't play the full response of Corey Holcomb, but right here.
Corey Holcomb, you don't fight well enough to do this with me. Like, we have video with you. You're not smart enough, strong enough, big enough, fast enough to do none of this you're talking about with me. We saw you with the homie Anton. He asked you to walk outside, and you remained stationary, Corey Holcomb. Please keep my name out of your mouth, and don't take anything I'm saying as, like, a threat to you. I wouldn't plan on doing nothing when I see you. Actually, if I saw you and we were breathing the same airspace, I would take it as a threat to me, a threat from God, a threat from life, that we even in the same fucking circumference, nigga. Corey Holcomb, your fall from disgrace has been one that should be studied, from kind of funny to kind of bummy to I'm just the dummy. You over there struggling. You look a sandwich away from welfare. You dusty dog shit in the face looking motherfucker, boy. Corey Holcomb, I can't believe that you are engaging this way when you fight that way. Honestly, it's over. You over there just lonely and poor. Your co-host look bad. Not the woman. I'm not talking about her.
By the way, I don't think Joe Budden realizes this, but he gave Corey Holcomb a lifeline. Like, he gave him a serious lifeline. You just gave, man, now Corey Holcomb gonna go. I'm like, man, as soon as Joe Budden made his response, I'm like, oh. Now, mind you, you know what Corey Holcomb's gonna say? He's gonna be like, look, I didn't say any names. All I said was fruit booty buttons, and whoever responds to that. He's gonna go in, man. But it's interesting that he didn't acknowledge anything. Oh, my bad. He didn't acknowledge anything, any of the allegations. Because watch this. Hold on. Let me see. I might have to keep this playing on this other side.
If you let your girl hit you with a strap, then you got the right to hit her back.
You stupid. That's why, Craig, you my lifesaver, dog. You come with it. You come with it on the real.
If you take a dick.
Some people say, who is fruit booty buttons? Look in the, I can't say it.
The chat is
Look in the chats know who I'm talking about. Him and his crew talking about me, calling me out my name. I know y'all ain't talking about my name, boy. What Nas say? You stay on my dick. You love my style. Damn. Y'all come with ideas for y'all show by watching me.
By the way, if it wasn't for Corey Holcomb, Patrice O'Neal, Bill Burr, many others, Chris Rock, all this, these people that they think they're free to talk about what they're talking about. These guys were doing it. Corey Holcomb and company, they were doing it way before it was popular.
Everything over there look bad. I know you down bad because you on a Costco table podding in front of a fake plant that appears to be dying. You failed at fatherhood. You hate yourself. You hate your daughter. Your daughter hates you. You failed at fatherhood, finances. You failed at funny. Your pod sucks. You failed at fodder. You just a failure all around.
So people really thought that was destroying Corey Holcomb. By the way, the topics that Joe Budden just addressed, Corey has already talked about that on his show. He's talked about his parentage. He's talked about the rifts between him and his daughter. But at least he's been upfront about his situation. According to Corey, him and his daughter is still cool. It's just that if he sees some fuck shit, he's gonna call it out. Unfortunately, even if it's his own people, you know. You might agree with that style, you might disagree, but at least Corey Holcomb, he's put it out. This is not like something you found out from somebody else. You found it out because Corey Holcomb said it himself. I fucked up with this. I did this. This is my personal life. You never find this out via third party. So to kind of use it as a diss is kind of a moot point. That's like say if an opponent of mine said, Chris, you a slow talking motherfucker. I'm like, oh no, not because actually that'll be a mute point. That'll be like, Chris, I found out, man, you struggle with blah blah blah, but you found out that and you're using it as a diss against me. But I told you that I was struggling with this. This is not something you found out with your investigations. I told you I struggle with this. And lo and behold, when it comes times to, diss Corey Holcomb, they're gonna use all the things that he put himself out there
on the board. And don't forget the original point. You don't fight well enough to do none of this with nobody. So prayers up to Corey Holcomb. We're not going to go back and forth in an exchange.
Joe Budden, you've been ran up on too many times by too many people to say this. Like, people have ran up on Joe Budden. On Joe Budden's people ran up on Joe Budden's peoples, and Joe Budden couldn't do nothing about it. I don't even want to talk about that situation. That might be over a lot of people's heads, but yeah.
Because I just don't feel the need to do that with you. I was just shocked to see that you still had a voice over there.
Damn. You should do that over the ether beat.
No, man, please. For Corey. Please. Corey over there, no shape up, a dusty derby. Corey looked like he looked like Grandless Pooba. Grandless Pooba. Corey over there looking like the store runner for a black biker gang. Corey looked like he covered in just warts and scabs. Corey looked ashy yet damp. Like he like there's no reason why he shouldn't have the time for a
Isn't this like kind of the same stuff that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has said on the Breakfast Club? Dr. Cheyenne, you basically repeating what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant said.
Back and forth with nobody right this second. It looked bad. It looks bad. It looks bad over there. And that's before he started losing all these gigs because that video that came out. So prayers up to you, my brother. You're going to need it. What else we got going on?
I don't even know how to transition.
By the way, Joe Budden looked very uncomfortable when he was saying all this stuff. Like, this is where we taking masculinity points from niggas crossing their legs. What is this? What is this? What is this? This is the person that they saying destroyed. What? Whole ass niggas crossing their legs. Self-admittedly bi people. Joe Budden himself admittedly said that he was bi. But they mad at Corey. Oh, man. Where has masculinity gone, man? Where has masculinity gone? He said, "Oh, that video was loud. My bad. Let me fix that. Let me fix that." It is like, sorry, because I'm on OBS. I can actually check the levels. My bad. Let me fix my Twitter volume. So let me put it right here.
The job is done already. Like, so I normally wouldn't talk to Corey Holcomb. I don't talk to Jason Lee because I know that's how he heals. He heals from engagement and being in close proximity to celebrities. And I'm a celebrity, so it's no point in wasting time to do that. I can't make niggas hate themselves more than they already do. Jason Lee has watched his brother die in his arms. His dad hates him because he sucked dick.
Oh, so yeah, we can skip the Jason Lee stuff. You know what's interesting about Corey? I haven't really heard Corey diss Jason Lee yet. But at the end of the guys like Corey, he said it himself. He doesn't like the download ninjas. What's that song you made? Niggas fucking bitches, but they act like they like hoes. That's one of my favorite songs that Corey Holcomb made, bro. That's one of the best songs ever. And I definitely think Joe Budden qualifies for that. But anywho, shout out to Zero G Tactics. I'm sorry, Zero. Yeah, oh yeah, Zero. I thought I got his name wrong for a second. My bad. He says Joe Budden clip farming. He says, yeah, I didn't hear any counterpoints. He's just talking ish to Holcomb. Like he doesn't realize it, but he gave Holcomb a lifeline right here. Like I said, tune in to 5150 show tomorrow, man. Tune in to 5150 show, y'all. It's gonna be off the chain. He's gonna go. Y'all think people be thinking he goes in on broads. No, I'm telling you, they don't understand. Oh man, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. He said, did Holcomb get psyoped or something? He said, I have my own gripes with Jason Lee. Yeah, Jason Lee, he's because the thing is he's openly gay. Right? So like to say that you have a problem with Jason Lee being gay, that would just be straight bullying. that would just be bullying. But Jason Lee, he's a messy character himself. Because remember the story I did with Jason? Doesn't Jason Lee and Tiffany Haddish didn't they have a kid together? Or was that fake? Was that fake news? I don't remember. But I remember I did a story on this. I'm like, what is wrong with these? Oh Lord. But I don't see Corey Holcomb going after the openly gay people. Even when he has the opportunity to. He goes after the people that don't come out as gay. So like Will Smith, T.D. Jakes, Joe Budden's, obviously. But I've seen people talk about this, right? And they'll say, man, all Corey Holcomb talk about is gay-ish and all that. But I'm like, tell me the person that Corey accused of possibly being gay. Who was he wrong about? Who was he wrong about that I'm talking about he said somebody was gay or they like guys, but they didn't put it out there. Who was he wrong about? I could think of maybe one. I could think of like maybe one. But in general, all the people that he accused of being backdoor, everybody that he accused of being backdoor, yeah, he was 100% spot on. Barry O. Should I say his name? Oh yeah, Dwayne Martin, and he said he actually likes Dwayne Martin as a person, but he knows what he is, but Dwayne Martin don't want to put it out there, right? Will Smith, Diddy, Corey Holcomb was ahead of all these people. But then Dame Dash can go on an interview and be like, man, he said all them niggas was gay. He said, Paul's really saved my life. And people find that funny. But then they're not going to go back and say, well, Corey Holcomb was one of the few people that had the guts to say, look, this is, Hollywood, the entertainment industry, it's a gay industry. It's ran by rainbow people and small hats. He was one of the few people that had the guts to say that. But they're never going to say, oh, you know what? He did warn me. Let me give props where props is due. Nope, they just move on and they're just gonna say he's hating whatever new topic he comes on to. Like it's almost like it's the same thing. People might think this is a false, what the a false equivalency, right? But it's like with Cam, it's almost like with Cam Newton. And I think Cam Newton's a little bit. Sometimes I think he's closeted at times, but that's just my opinion. But I got love for Cam. Cam will just say one thing, and he'll get destroyed. Anytime Cam Newton has an opinion, he gets destroyed. If he has something to say, he gets hate. If he does something, it's almost like he can't do anything right. It's crazy. Cam Newton will say something about quarterbacks. He'll be like, "Look, you have game changers, you have game managers, and then you have all these people saying that he's hating." And everybody that he said was a game manager, it was proven that he was right. Everybody who he said he was a game changer, he was proven right. He said Drake May was a game manager, which I disagreed, but people were acting like he was a hater for saying an opinion. And I'm like, if Cam Newton, a former NFL MVP, former Heisman winner, did it with no help, mind you, one of the few people that said, I did it by myself. If he can't have a critique or if he can't have an opinion on today's athlete or today's modern quarterback, who else can have that opinion? Yeah. Zero G says, I don't give a F about his gayness, but he is a politician. So, yeah, whenever one day, say if Corey Holcomb has something to say about Jason Lee, it's going to be purely about what he does. It's not going to be off of his gayness. But Jason Lee is a messy, he's messy. He's definitely messy. Exactly. So Mr. For Your Sister says, I thought Brady was the best game manager ever until he went to the Bucks. I agree. But people, like, I don't know, when people say when I guess when he was saying game manager, people took it as a diss. It's not. It's like, it is what it is, man. Cam Newton, he'll now everything was basically proven right in these past in these playoffs. Anybody that's watched the NFL playoffs, Drake May has played basically horrible. Well, I'll say close to pretty bad throughout this playoffs, and his defense has been carrying him through these playoffs. And it wasn't like he wasn't even a good game manager, and all he had to be was a game manager for these playoffs. But he was actually playing pretty bad. And you saw with the Super Bowl yesterday. It is what it is. And then what's crazy is Cam Newton dropped a crazy prediction today. He said the Patriots are not even going to be a top 6, top 8 team next year. Now, he's getting a lot of hate for that as we speak. But guys like Cam Newton, Corey Holcomb, they have their ways about them, but a lot of the time they're just ahead of their time. So yeah, same with Kanye West. A lot of these people, they're just a little bit ahead of the curve. That's why they're as successful as they are. They're just ahead of the curve. But yeah, all these people, man, they always anytime you bring up Cam Newton, instead of praising him, they're always talking about a fumble. I'm like, out of all of his accomplishments, they just bring up the fumble. I'm like, wow. Anyways, oh yeah, like I said, please bear with me because I'm on OBS. I haven't used OBS in 2 years. He said, yeah, Mr. For Your Sister says, you can't really diss anyone who was a pro athlete at anything. Well, it's not that I'm saying that you can't critique him, but it's clear that there's certain people that they pick on, right? Unfortunately, when it comes to journalism or when it comes to journalism or in general sports journalism, there always needs to be a for some reason there always needs to be a bad guy. There needs to be a good guy. Unfortunately, Cam Newton was made to be the bad guy. It's just it's a bit unfortunate. It is what it is. Can't do nothing about that. Can't do anything about that. Anyways, that's life. But anywho, let me open up Twitter. Let me be careful though how I'm scrolling. Let me look at this comment section. Some people are talking about Jason Lee, but I'm focused on the Corey Holcomb stuff. Oh yeah, this clip. This is the part that basically set off Joe Budden.
I go, hey, Joe, stop beating up women, man. Hey, Joe, come here. Let me holler at you, Joe. Stop beating up women. You beat up women. Corey Holcomb had an incident with a meth head. You beat up women you are involved with. And you beat up boy booty. Fruit booty buttons.
That's a buck, B-U-P. Beat up boy booty, buck. B-U-B.
Is that what it is?
Bub.
Beat
Call
up
him Bub.
boy.
Beat up boy.
That's Bub.
Two B's, yeah, Bub.
He the real big Bub.
That's wild, man. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
They wanted some attention. I gave you some attention. Everybody look up his history of jumping on the women he around. And I'm telling you, men who sleep with men and women be frustrated with the women. And you want me to tell you why? Ain't no balls hanging. But they still do it for their street cred. Homie, I'll take all y'all to war. Come on with it. I take you all the way. Where you want? Where you want? Fuck out of here, nigga.
But yeah, that's basically the part. That's basically the part that had Joe Budden triggered. But yeah. Oh yeah, my cousin, he's a fan of Joe Budden. We need to talk about this. we need to talk about this. Cause he's a huge he looks up to Joe Budden. But I'll say this. That would break my cousin's heart if he finds out that Joe Budden he does some switch hitting from time to time. That would break his heart. So I'm not even gonna do that to my boy. Like my cousin, he'll watch my show from time to time. He'll watch my show from time to time. Oh shoot. I just figured out something. Thank you guys for being patient with me though while using OBS. Thank you, man. See, capture audio. Yo. I just figured out something with OBS on the spot. I found a way to just have the Chrome my tab open and not have to put it back to the OBS. Like I said, man, stick with me, man. Stick with me real quick. Let me press OK. I think I figured out. Yeah. Yeah. I think I have a little thing figured out. I just wish there was a way to display the chat on the screen. That's the one thing I wish I could do. They have a feature on Stream. I think they had a feature on StreamYard where you could put the chat on the screen for a little bit, the same way how Kick does it. but I would have to find that out. But like I said, I'm doing these shows just to make sure. Look, I'm on Snack King's side. That's the reason why I'm doing this, because that's why I'm doing this emergency. That's why I'm doing this emergency live stream. Because I was gonna do it on my phone, but I'm like, well, shit. Let me. Right now, this is not. Because I do have Windows on my other on my other laptop, but due to circumstances, if that makes sense, due to circumstances and technical difficulties and all that, I had to switch out some computers, switch out some laptops. StreamYard acting up on me, doing all types of nonsense. I got to figure that out. I'm like, but F it. I was going to say, I'm going to do, I'm going to, look, let me see if I can do OBS real quick. But that's why I'm doing these streams. Even I don't care if I got to do a struggle mode. I got to put it out there that I am on Snack King Cole's side. Oh, shoot. Hit up YouTube. Let's see if I can find. Because there was a short that I wanted to show as well. But I think I can actually, I'm gonna save that short. I'm gonna save that one. I'm gonna save it. But yeah, this is so good. This is so good. I found a way to do Windows capture on OBS without having to leave my screen. This is so good. Here we go. I think I can control this. Boom, boom. But anyways, I'll be back. I'll be back on StreamYard probably because I'm gonna be traveling again. So I gotta do a show tomorrow. Then I gotta take lessons the next day. Then I gotta meet up with somebody on Wednesday. League game on Thursday. Shoot, I don't know where I'm gonna sneak in this live stream. I don't know where I'm gonna sneak in this next live stream. But yeah, I haven't used OBS in years, so I apologize on that. But anyways, shout out to you guys. I'm gonna end the broadcast because I am struggling. I am struggling using this. I played Joe Budden's response. I played Corey's response. I could show you the Facebook replies, but that would be. I don't want people all up in my Facebook. I really don't. Mr. For Your Sister said, everyone have a good night. Everybody have a good night, stud lover. Oh, yeah, it is 10:12. I got to bounce. I do got to bounce. But shout out to you guys. I know this was a bit of a sloppy stream, but like I said, I made this stream just to show you the agenda, what's happening to Corey Holcomb. Before I log off, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna see in the next couple of days. There's this Facebook reel going around. They're showing a clip of what Corey Holcomb was talking about, the age of consent and how that works in all these other countries and whatnot. So now they're going to try to make him look like a predator. So that's the angle. They're trying to push stuff on him, trying to get charges on him just to see if they can get him into court. So the gun thing didn't work. Him talking when he was talking about Anton Daniels' family, that didn't work. So they're just trying to throw stuff at him. They're just trying to this is usually what they do, particularly the black men. They're just trying to throw stuff on him, see what sticks. So it is what it is. Just understand that's what's gonna happen. You see, you're gonna see in the next couple of days. They're gonna try to make Corey Holcomb look like a predator because he's gonna talk about the reality on what the world is. They can't do nothing about the actual Satan worshipers that actually eat kids and stuff like that. They're gonna try to cancel Corey to make themselves feel good about themselves. One of the few truth tellers out there. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I'm going to end the broadcast because I am struggling with this stream. This is I'll say this. This is one of my worst streams because OBS is killing me right now. It's really killing me. I'm going to try to see if I can get my StreamYard working again tomorrow or whatever time this week. Low-key, I was better off doing this on my phone. But anyway, shout out to you guys, man. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for following me on the stream. Thank you for giving me patience. Thank you for hearing my side of things when it comes to Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb to me is, to me, watching the Corey Holcomb 5150 show literally saved my life. So anything, if anybody's talking crazy about the show, I'm going to look at you a little bit sideways, just naturally. But thank you for at least seeing my side of my side of things. And I do take offense that one of the pioneers of free expression in terms of when it comes to men talking about what it really is, I do take offense that these same black male content creators that wouldn't be there without people like Corey Holcomb are trying to quote unquote cancel him. So I do take offense to that. But shout out to you guys. I'm gonna end this broadcast right here.